that's no good. I'm not happy. I did not know that it locks the rotation and I'm upside down. Oh no, it's not that big a deal, I guess. Hang on a second. Let me get something for you all to sit on. I hurt my ribs, guys. I slipped and I landed on a tile floor in our living room sideways and just landed right on my arm. I bruised my ribs. It's been a few days. It still hurts. I don't know if you ever bruised ribs. Let me make sure that the, before anyone gets here, let me make sure that the Wi-Fi is off and put this on. There. Nope. Don't want to put it on Do Not Disturb. There we go. Let's see if anyone shows up. I'm just bored, guys. I have nothing I can do right now. My day has been spent. My daughter had to go to a doctor's appointment this morning. I don't know, guys. This is looking kind of sad. I kind of was just bored and wanted to talk to y'all. I'll give it a couple minutes before people and see if people show up. This is a weird time for me to do a live feed, so people aren't expecting it. But I was just kind of bored. Someone is here. So I figured I would just do a live feed since I haven't gotten around to shooting anything. I have a couple things here that I want to shoot videos about. I just don't, I'm not 100% sure how I want to do it because they're kind of unusual items. And I want to shoot a video about, yeah, this isn't working. There's no one here. If you're actually here, and leave a comment and let me know that you're actually here. I want to see who's here because I'm getting that thing where it shows that there's people here and then they all disappear. And then it shows that there's people here and then they all disappear. So, oh, okay. Hey, there we go. All right, cool. It is, yes, that's what's in my pocket. You guys know what's in my pocket. You know what else was in my pocket today, though? I was also carrying my Franken 940. Hang on a second. I want to see who's here. I believe that the UPS... Hey, the knife handles, don't rush on it because here's the thing. I don't know how much longer we're going to be in this house, things like that. Jeremy Russell, good morning, afternoon, good day to you, sir. And like the fact is, I don't have any knives to make anytime soon. The knife making has been put way down on the list of things. What's up? I do want to do a video about this in actual use. I've carried this and used this. And I need to get that video done because I want to get this back to Elliot. This is Elliot's knife. I stole it off his desk. People are like, man, you just go into Elliot's office and just like you can just take stuff off his desk. I was like, as long as I let him know, like I'll send him a text like, hey Elliot, I'm at the shop. Can I borrow this? I have one of his prototypes that I've had for a year that I need to take back. I just keep forgetting to take it back. It's one of the prototype Feroxes. So yeah, that's in my drawer there. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I need to get that to Elliot. And I just forget. So I don't know if you guys saw, if you're interested in watching something, Nick Shabazz did a video about the sea snake. There's some stuff that I don't know if I didn't clarify it or stuff like that, but there's some stuff that just wasn't 100% what I would like to have seen in the video, but they're Nick's videos, and I knew I was sending it, as Nick said, to a picky bastard. So the only thing I really had issue, what's up, Adam? He was talking about the color. I sent him, I did not handpick, cherry pick a knife for him. I had a knife here at the house. I wanted to send him one that had not been scratched. So I just sent him a desert earth or dark earth, a brown one that I had, the tan ones that I had here. And so it's just, I didn't handpick it. He got what he got. So that, and then the color. Like, I wish he had mentioned that there's more than one color. But you know, hey, in a big scope of things, he still liked the knife. And Nick is not a fixed blade guy. I sent him a message. I was like, wow, if I thought that if I could make you like a fixed blade knife, that anything was possible. So, what's up, David? I was just getting ready to send you a text. I still have your knife here. I hope you didn't forget about it again. I hope that's like, if you did, I mean, I want to get stuff sent out that needs to go out as quickly as possible, because if we do get this place that we put in an application on, I won't have a lot of time, and I just don't want something to get lost or damaged or something like that in the pack, in the move. It's not a rush. It's not a big deal. I can lock it away in my safe or something so that I make sure that nothing happens to it. I just don't want something to get lost or damaged in a move that's an item you paid for. So that was my only point. Like, if it's going to be a while, I can wrap it up and store it in my gun safe, because we're moving that as well. That's going. God, this thing is so incredibly hard not to carry. And someone emailed me. Oh, yeah, I mean, don't worry about it. I just wanted to make sure. Like, I have another knife that needs to go out. So Jeremy Morris needs to send me his address. I need to hit him up. Somebody mentioned in a video that, like, you know, Mike talks about how big his hands are, and they're like, I have a Norseman. Yeah, that's the real one. The guy's like, I have a Norseman, and it looks little in his hand. And they were like, one of the guys was like, emailing me. He was like, holy crap, like, you always talk about having big hands, but I saw the Norseman video. You make that knife not look very big. I was like, yeah, that's a 6-inch machinist rule. Like, I forget who it was I shook hands with. I shook hands with them. They were like, God bless. They're like, you aren't kidding. Let's see, that's a 6-inch machinist rule. So that's like a 6-inch machinist rule, and there's a lot of acreage left. That's a 6-inch and some change. Guys, I may give away, I have 3 of these. If I can find the third one that no one likes, like, I like the blue one, my daughter likes the green one. I have a bronze one. Yeah. What? What in the actual fuck? Your poor wife. I believe that's what Ethan said. I think Ethan, when I shook hands with him, he was like, God, your poor wife. But no, I have, if I can find the bronze one of these titanium anodized machinists rulers, I will do a giveaway. I prefer the blue one. The blue one is the thickest of the 3. The green one wound up coming out very thin. I hope so too. I'm looking forward. So guys, I am going to Blade Show West. Blade Show West is here in California this year. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I didn't go to the Cali Custom Show. I'm gonna basically ignore my doctor's orders, and I'm going to a gathering. I just can't not. I need to go see the guys at Artisan. I have a knife design released. It's Blade Show West. I don't see why I have to. I basically have to. I would feel as though I had not done my duty as a knife designer to go to Blade Show West. I didn't go to Cali Custom Show, but I have a knife that's been released since then that could be in the running for, you know, it could be in the, you know, best new fixed blade or whatever. Who knows? But the fact is too, I haven't gotten to see any of the people in the knife world for a very long time. And why are there 13 people here but only 5 likes? I did do a good bit of heavy cutting with this. Stuff I'm not gonna cut with $1,000 fucking Norseman. I mean, I'm gonna use it. But I'm also not gonna use it on what I was doing. Dirt. Cardboard boxes had gotten dirt and stuff all over them, and I was like, I cut those down. I'm like, this will do it, and this gets a lot of good heavy use. I don't know if you can see. I've already got some scuffs on the blade. This, I definitely did cut down cardboard that had dirt and stuff in it with it. And it didn't, its S90V is so resilient. I love S90V. S90V, RWL 34. There's a couple other steels that I really do like. Boxes, Cake, People. Yes, People. Somebody told me they're like, oh, yeah, it wouldn't work as a tactical knife. And I'm like, you're kind of silly. It's got a big recurve. It's a big heavy blade. It's long. Tree flash. Oh, the lightning. Yeah. You know what? I went on Nick's video about the sea snake, and I do know that some people have some issue with AR-RPM 9. But there's a guy that keeps going, and he's like, oh, there's been a lot of videos of people having problems with the AR-RPM 9. And I'm like, I can think of one person that I can think of, and it was Outdoor 76. But it just seems like people like to bandwagon on stuff, and they're blowing things out of proportion. And I would appreciate, like, if you don't like the steel, that's fine. But, like back that up with fact. Like somebody was like, oh, it's AR-RPM 9 is just powdered 9CR. And I'm like, no, there's formulaic differences between those steels. Are they very similar? Yes. Are they the same? No. Most notably, 9CR does not have cobalt. AR-RPM 9 does. It's really similar, but there's some qualities in AR-RPM 9 that I don't see in 9CR. So I would just say, like, if you're going to say something, don't just. I don't know if he's using. I think that Sea Snake though would not be the one he tested. So I know that somebody sent some stuff off to my buddy to do some. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot you're not a native English speaker, are you, Jorgen? I forgot you're in the Netherlands. At any rate, like, so, I forget what I was getting ready to say. One of my friends, another knife maker, had someone send him one for Rockwell testing, and it came right in where it was supposed to be. It's, like I said, AR-RPM steel is not a super steel. And I think that's what people are judging. Oh, it's powdered, so it's a super steel. It's not. It's not a new super steel. It's just a better budget version. It's a better budget steel that kind of fits that bill when you want something that's a little bit, like D2 it's a budget steel. 9CR is a budget steel. It's kind of like, it's a step up above both of them. It's not meant to fill any, like, oh, they're trying to say it's a super steel. No, it's just a budget powdered steel. Gets you a little bit more bang for your buck. And I like it. It strops so well. I'd carried my, just so you have a case in point, I actually overstropped this knife. I had been carrying my RIA, my CJRB RIA in, all right, bud. I had been carrying it in the AR-RPM 9 RIA from CJRB. I'd been carrying that a lot, and I was using it a lot. And the thing is, I would use it, and it would get a little bit, then I would strop it. And I basically was stropping it on a piece of cardboard. This steel, Sweden, yeah. This steel does not strop as readily or as often as 9CR does. It doesn't come, or not 9CR, AR-RPM 9, and for that matter, even 9CR strops better than RWL 34. So I'd sharpen this down, and I used it, and I was like, oh, I should just strop it up. And every time I did that, then I realized, I was like, it's not biting the way I wanted. I had basically overstropped, because this gets used all the time, and I would just touch it up. Some steels don't do as well with that. And so I lost the bite on it, which was a simple matter of just throwing it back on a 1,000 grit stone, just honing it at 1,000 grit. I just cut myself with it. I don't know if you guys can see, just touching it. So it has not been restropped. And it's been used a lot, and it is nightmare. Like I just barely touched my thumb with that knife. Never been as happy with a purchase, I don't think. Any knife purchase I've ever had. Because I asked my... So you guys know my buddy Matthew has been in some of the videos. Matt is not like Matt and I are friends, but Matt and I come from totally different backgrounds. I'm a farm country boy, woodworking, metalworking, things like that. Matt is, I'm not gonna lie, Matt was a rich kid, great, great guy. I love him like a brother. He came from a fairly rich family. They live right up near Disneyland. That's where he grew up, and so I asked Matt. I was like, "Hey, you don't happen to have a belt sander so I can refinish the top on this workbench now that it's been out in the rain without a canopy for weeks, and it's been raining pretty much the whole time." And he's like, I got a one by, I forget what he said. He's like, I don't have a handheld doohickey. And I was like, it is funny. Here's the thing. So Frank, for your question, I really don't know. Like, it just depends on how you're stropping. Now, the reason I think I overstropped was because, like I said, this strop compound is not it's not like diamond paste. This is chromium oxide, which is still harder than steel, but it does break down. And so what I'm wondering is maybe I had stropped it on some old compound. It looked like I had loaded it. It might have been some old compound where like the tooth of that stropping compound had kind of broke down a little bit, and I just burnished the edge. It could have something to do with the fact that I was, I used this strop. It's got a recurve. So I use this strop a lot. It could have just been that I didn't load it with enough fresh abrasive often enough for the amount of times I was stropping. I would be inclined to say that is the problem rather than the steel. But I don't have a diamond strop that I can get into that recurve. And so, as a matter of fact, I don't have any good diamond strops at all right now because the balsa wood strops that I had been buying, I can't find anymore. Now, if you're using diamond, see if you're using a diamond paste, I mean, like ARRPM 9, I wouldn't take it to that fine of a grit. And the reason being is not that you lose the tooth. The carbides in some steels are so fine that if you take it to a really high strop or a really high grit, sometimes there's a period in there where you kind of just feels like it loses its tooth, because it is such a fine grit. That's why, like this, 1,000 grit. ARRPM 9, 800 to 1,000 grit. And then I strop ARRPM 9 on newspaper. I do the same with Damasteel, RWL 34, if I can do it. This actually does really well with a piece of newspaper, because that's just about 3,000 grit is what you get on newspaper, because there's a ceramic binding mud in it. But this, at 1,000 grit with just ridiculously sharp. I was stropping it when it didn't need stropped too. So that's part of the problem. I would just use it and strop it and use it and strop it. And I really didn't need to. And I just basically over-stropped it. But I've cut so much stuff with this. I don't know if you can see, I'm getting a little bit of blade wear, which is fine, because all I have to do is I can just tumble this blade. But there's some scratches. It gets used. This is not a safe queen. It's in my pocket all the time. So, Loctite finally set. But I just thought maybe you guys would like to hang out, because I did not shoot a video for today. Yesterday, we got busy. We looked at properties, things like that. And then my daughter had skating, and my daughter had practice. But my daughter has an ankle that's hurting. So I took her in. She had a doctor's appointment. After the doctor's appointment, she had x-rays. So we've been busy. And what's the hardest use it's seen? I cut up a big canvas drop cloth that I had, and all of the top for the canopy that I'm trying to get rid of, the one that got torn up, all of the the covering got cut up so it would fit in the trash can. I've cut up a bunch of big heavy boxes. Um, uh, so like I've done a bunch of heavy cutting up of things. I've used it here in the kitchen. I cut onions and stuff up with it just to see how it do. It cuts onions incredibly well. It works amazingly well if you put this part on the cutting board and then just drag it back. It cuts onions like a champ, slices them super thin. But no, it's just been doing day-to-day tasks that any of my other knives would do. But like I said, this morning, we've had a lot of rain, had a cardboard box that had been out in the rain, then got back out and dried out, needed cut up. So I used this. I did not want to cut through a bunch of dirt and stuff. Surprisingly though, I don't see a bunch of scratches on this knife from cutting through the dirt. Well, that's not coming from me. I will tell you where I learned the grit on newspaper. Murray Carter from Carter Knives. He used to do all kinds of sharpening videos. I took a lot of things from the way he sharpens. I don't do it the same way because I just don't find it aesthetically pleasing to lay the entire bevel of a knife on a stone. I've done it. I did it to my wife's one kitchen knife that had gotten really thick from sharpening. And I basically reprofiled the entire bevel on both sides. But he lays it out. Like he'll tell you, like newsprint, phone book paper, the ink that they use has got a ceramic component to it. But then there's a binder mud because that's loosely bound paper fiber. And there's a binding agent that's in that. And it's a ceramic mud when they make the paper. And it means that you can tear out a piece of newspaper or a piece of phone book paper, wrap it around a block of wood, use it for a couple passes, throw it away, because then, you know, you break down that ceramic mud and you can see the paper shine. And basically you can use it as a quick strop, and it works really well for a lot of steels. It'll give it a good crisp, like it's the only thing I use on AR PM9. It brings it up to a crisp, frightening edge. There was something else that was on here that somebody had asked that I was like, so what makes a knife become a size queen? I guess price isn't a factor. I mean, there's a lot of things that could turn a knife into a safe queen. If it's something that you've wanted for a really long time, and different people have different criteria. Like it might be that it's really expensive, but I know some guys that have $200 and $300 knives that's like, they think that's where they're at in their collecting. Like that's where they're at in that knife hobby. For me, it was never just like a price point thing, like, oh, I got to have the best or this or that. I followed like levels of quality, and I followed things that I really liked. Like I have, let's go look at my knife case. Since we're talking about it, I don't have any knives that are safe queens. Really, to tell you the truth, I have a couple, well, I can't say that. There is one. I guess there is one that is a safe queen, and it would have to be this one right here. This one doesn't get used. This one doesn't get carried. This one basically, it gets used occasionally, but it spends all of its time in my knife case because I just don't want anything to happen to it. And you can see it's been used. I mean, it's cut things. But the Strider is no longer here. And that's why the Strider went. The Strider, one, for me, it wasn't a functional carry kind of knife. I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. I kept it for 2 years. So, but the fact was, like, that knife was expensive. And that knife was something that I had... Why is that not charging? Is that why my phone is hot? Hang on a second, guys. I got to check something. Moments only. Don't go anywhere. Yeah. Wasn't charging. I had to make sure that my phone was charging. So for that Strider, one, I knew, do we want to? Is that what we want to talk about? We can do that. Hold that thought. I'll come right back to it. So that knife was not something I was going to carry. I had bought it with the intention of putting it on the channel and then selling it. And the knife market, just at the time, it just didn't work out because what happened? We all know what happened. The COOF pandemic occurred. But that knife was just something I wasn't gonna carry, and I got it directly from Mick. I had every intention of reselling it. Had I carried it and used it, I would have lost the resale value. So that's part of it. But then there's other knives, like I don't use my Ferrum Forge Fortis very much because it is one of the few that came with that unusual blade finish. And I can't duplicate it. I can come close, but I can't ever get it the way it was. And the fact is that I just don't want to ruin the finish on that blade. And it was a gift. That was a gift from Nico. It gets carried, but it very often gets carried with something else that I know I'm going to use if I need to use a knife. Now, somebody said something about the Norseman. A lot of guys buy a Norseman and it's a grail piece. And I know guys that have owned several, they'll buy one and they'll mess with it for a while and then they'll sell it. I'm not that guy. I've wanted one for so long and it's so functional, so easy to carry. It's so unique. I do have to say it's probably my favorite knife. I think this is my favorite knife I've ever owned. That was something that like, not a gift. You know what I mean? Like I have knives that have a special place, like the stuff that Alex sent me. Oh, you guys didn't get to see this. That's right. Let me just go back to my knife case. So if you remember Alex from Smoky Mountain Knife Works, Alex Io, he sent me a couple knives as a gift. He sent me this one, which is the Heretic Medusa automatic, which I don't understand why it has the aperture because it's a push button auto. I don't know. But he also sent me this, and I didn't carry it a lot, and it was not that it's not a functional knife. I didn't carry it a lot because I didn't like the blade finish. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way it scuffed up when you cut things with it. And so what I did was I refinished the blade. So I got rid of all the old acid wash. I just gave it a super heavy tumble. And so that I didn't lose my logos. So I just gave it a really good heavy stone wash and I like it a lot better. So now this gets carried a good bit, but this is another one that it falls into that category like of knives that I just have a special place in my heart because they were gifts. This was a gift from someone and I really like it. And yes, I know they're weird looking, ugly knives. However, it's a pretty functional knife. So what was that somebody said? What's up, Zach? I'm glad you got your knives. I just didn't have, I mean, it's hard to film videos right now, especially like there's no canopy outside, so we can't film outside. I'm home all the time. My daughter's now in school here at the house. My wife is here, and we're going through all this stuff of selling the house, and so there's a lot of moving parts, and it's just, I don't ever have time to film these days. It sucks. I really, really, really want to keep up on content because the channel really is taken off big. Like we got like 17 followers in like 4 hours the other day. And I'm like, wow, wonder what happened there. And I think it's because other channels are reviewing stuff that I have. There's still people that are reviewing the stonefish. A lot of people are reviewing the sea snake. That thing was great. I almost got one because, like I said, in the account for this, I had been saving for a very long time. There was more money in the account for this than there was money required for this, and I already knew that. So there's a couple things. I already bought a couple things to do a review video. I bought a beard straightener comb, the heated beard combs. I bought one on Amazon for half the price of the one I bought on Instagram, with every intent that I was going to send the Instagram one back, and it came without any information. And I'm like, it was $44 versus what I got from Amazon, which was 19. Don't buy the stuff. Like when you're on Amazon and you see the ad and it's like shop now, don't do it. I just wanted to test my theory. Once before I purchased something on Instagram and it was charger cords. You know, the ones that have the 90 degree? I ordered 2 of them. One of them came and didn't work from the start, and the other one worked for about a day and then quit. And I was like, see, and so now I just, as a test, it's horrible. Don't buy things on Amazon, on Instagram, unless it's like an actual like website. Because the thing too is you'll see a lot of those Instagram ads, they're using footage from the actual product. And then what you get is not even close. I've seen that. I got them connected in the door about you. Like that heated beard comb, I knew that $44 was way too much when I saw how much nicer the one that they had on Amazon was. And so I did it as a comparison. I just didn't realize they were gonna send it to me with no way for me to return it because it's garbage. Okay, laggy for everyone or just for Ace? I will wait for the class to join us. So, you got the lag? Well, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Hang on a second. Let me check and make sure. I'm not on Wi-Fi, and I got full bars. So if it's laggy, I guess we'll just end it. So it's been 32 minutes anyway. Okay, well, if it's that bad, I'll just end it. So if you guys, is it still watchable? Good to go? Okay, I guess it's only some people. Here's the thing though, there's some issues with some of the servers in different areas of the country. I'd like to, there's people I'd like to blame, but I can't do it here. Oh, what was it? I did. It's better now. Good to go. Okay. If you guys, are you snoring, dog? If you guys follow me on Full30, I put up a video yesterday that just, it's just a comment on culture today. So I put something on Facebook and it got fact checked. And it was a picture of an electric vehicle recharging station that had a diesel generator attached to it. And my post said, that seems like a diesel engine with additional steps. I got fact checked and it had a note. It was all hazed out. It said note, you know, and CY. And I clicked on it. It says, this is in fact not a van hauling a diesel generator to charge the vehicle. I'm like, I never said it was. Why? I simply said it was a recharging station with a diesel generator, which in fact it was in the picture. And they fact checked it. And I was like, that's where we're at in the world. Like you can't put up, and it was meant to be a joke. You can't put up something that's humorous. You can't put up something and expect it not to be kicked down as like, oh, that's not true. I know it's not true. But even to the point they're like, it's not a van. I was like, I know, read my fucking post. Nowhere did I say it was a goddamn van. I said, that's like having a diesel engine with additional steps. But we're not gonna get into all that here. That's what Full30 is for, because that, you guys wanna know why I started doing stuff on Full30? Because I have 100% freedom of speech on that platform. I can say anything I want on that platform. I can't do that here. So if you guys want to have conversations like this, you gotta follow me on Full30. And just tell me here, like, hey, I want you to do a video about this on Full30. We'll watch it. Because if you're not following me on Full30, you're gonna miss stuff because I've already done a couple exclusive videos there. And there is another Olight flash sale starting on the 18th. 18th and 19th. I actually have a video that I've already pretty much shot. I just can't put it up yet because the fact is the item I was sent to me before it was available to the public. It has not even been announced yet. It actually has been announced now. You can see it. So what I have is I have the Baton 3 Premium Edition flashlight that they sent me to test. And it's different than what you're thinking because it comes with a charger case. You charge the case, you take the case with you. It's pretty good. It's pretty nice. It's in my pocket right now. No, it's not. It's on my bedstand. I took it out of my pocket. And people are like, oh, I can't believe you're shilling the Olight stuff. Guys, I gotta tell you, like, I have now got multiple of the Olight items that I've tested. And I'm not gonna lie to you, as far as tactical lights for pew-pews, the ones that I've seen are so much better than the ones that Streamlight are putting out, as far as functionality and ease of use. So it's just like people, oh, I can't believe we're shilling out Olight stuff. There's one time somebody had an issue with an Olight in their pocket. And I think they've resolved that issue now that there's I think all of their lights, except for a couple of them have, yeah, but you can't say the actual word for it. That's why. So they have lockout switches. I mean, I can show you the flashlight. It's just like the Baton tip. My best headlamp, just picked up first Zebra light and hate it. I'll show you right now what I was getting ready to say is probably one of the best functions of this little flashlight. So this is the Baton 3. And this is the Baton 3 headlamp. And it's bright. You ready? Okay, it's daytime in my house. You ready? So it's on, but it has a turbo mode. God damn. It's 1200 lumens. It's a bright flashlight. So this is, it is a really nice light. It's got like 4 settings. So that's on, I think that's on high. Let's see. So that's low. That's off. That's moonlight. That's low. That's medium. That's high. And that's turbo. And then that's seizure inducing. But this is the new one. This is the newest one. It has not even hit the market yet. The Baton 3, this is the newest version of it. But if you hold it, you'll see it turns on first and then it turns it off. And then there's a little red light telling you that that light no longer works. And then if you turn that off, you can see what your charge level is. You can see that's green. If green, it's full. Yellow, it's like halfway. And then red, you've got like 10% left. And you just drop it down inside its case. But I'm going to finish like the final thoughts on that video for this because I've been filming stuff throughout my testing. Your Baton 3, but your Baton 3 Premium Edition with a charger case, they should not be available yet. We were told we were not allowed to publicize it until they went live on, because I have a link for you guys to the sale, like to save. So I'll be putting that out. I might put that video out tomorrow. What's today? Yeah, I'll put it out tomorrow. But the sale, the link, don't use the link until the 18th. That's when the sales started. I do like I know that they used to be longer. I like this. Yes, it's magnetic. So you can stick it to things such as my refrigerator. So nice. Well, see, I wish you had waited because I get a portion of the profits from this sale. That's why I'm sending you guys a link. I mean, I want you guys to get a link and get good stuff. They're also going to pay me. Like, I have an affiliate link. Like, I get a portion of the sales. Like, but here's the thing. I told them, I was like, if I don't like the flashlight, I'm not doing the video. They know this. Like, I don't give away reviews. Like, even if you're paying me, you're not going to get. Like, if you send me something that's no good, I'm like, yeah, no, you keep your money. The only problem I have with it, is the fact that I make knives. And in a dirty grind room, that's going to get covered with metal. So I've already done it a couple times. I'll put a piece of masking tape over the end, and that way I can just peel it off. But you know, it's just one of those things that, like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but depending on where you work, that might not be optimal, because that's also your charging port. You know what I'm saying? So if that's all dirty, you got to make sure it's clean to use the charger. Oh boy. No. I want her to, but the fact is, she's always in skating / yoga pants. The review might go up. I think I'm gonna put it up tonight for the. I'm gonna put it up tonight for the members, and then probably live tomorrow for everyone else. And then I will try to film something for Thursday as well. But I want you guys to have the link. Like I said, just know that you just don't use the link, and that link won't get you anywhere until the 18th. I like the removable pocket clips too. I've seen knives that the pocket clip is just like part of it. So, I mean, if you've got electrical tape, it's fine. I will tell you that this thing on the turbo setting, that gets hot. I do believe we've had this conversation numerous times on this channel, Zach, I believe that you've asked me a few times if I like Bark River knives. I like Bark River knives a lot. I would like to for I wanted them to make one of my knives, but the fact is, like, the price point just would make it'd be ridiculous. So it'd be like the Stonefish. Like, it priced itself out of the market. It's a great knife, but it was too expensive. No one wanted it. Everybody loves a fixed blade. You know what no one loves? A $300 fixed blade. So, but no, my daughter does not carry a knife because she's never in a tire where she could carry a knife. She's not real big. I like the convex grind on everything. You're not going to ruin one of those knives, and they for an outdoors style knife, that convex grind is going to be great on everything because it's so functional. A grind in? I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm waiting on an explanation of what grind is. The grind in is. Well, at any rate, so we got like 15 minutes left. So what do you guys want to talk about for the next 15 minutes? Do you guys want to talk about Paulo Blazano? I believe we've already done this. I was going to actually just film a video about that. It's about that time of year. I get an itch. And I just realized that I had forgotten the entire Voss Offren fiasco, which means that basically he's on the hook for the Voss Offren stuff. So he basically took all that money. So the Voss Offren. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I would if there was. Here's the thing: there's a lot of knife makers in San Diego, but they're all so. It's weird. Like, I know most of the knife makers in San Diego. You know, I know. I know the guys up at Anza. I know Andy over at Half Face Blades. I know Eric at Kramer Knives. I know Eric Kramer. I know, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. The guy that makes all the stuff out of titanium, makes titanium hatchets and small knives and like the credit card knives out of titanium. I just can't think of his name off. Oh, it's right there. I just can't think of it. I know all those guys. And a lot of the, Mick Strider, they're all in San Diego. Like I said, you got Mick Strider and there's some other guys that I just can't. I forget that they're here. Where's the? Well, yeah, Cerberus and so there's so many. And they're all low, and I've met them all, but it's not like it's even though there's a big knife making community in San Diego, it's just like no one really just gets together. Like Elliot had a meetup at his. Sorry about that, guys. My phone rang and it wasn't supposed to. So no, not Snooty. I tried to use his laser one time. What was my first knife and when did I get it? It was a little Wilkinson silver sword or Camelus silver sword pocket knife, like a Camelus 101 silver sword little pocket knife that my dad got me when I was like 6. I've still got it. It's in a drawer in my bedroom. So, but I'm trying to think, what was that freaking guy's name? He just. I'm trying to think. I'll run into him at Blade West. I was talking with some of the guys about Brian Ty. And they were like, they showed a video that somebody had put up on Instagram where Brian had put a knife out and there was like, yeah, sure, that's what I'll do. I'll make you a plasma knife. But he had put up a picture of a knife where basically there was a, Ace, you're pushing it, Ace. You're gonna get me going on this. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I did a thing on Instagram about it. I put up a couple pictures. So here we go. So back in June of last year, I want to say June or July, Paulo put up a thing. He's like, starting production again. Knives should be shipping by October. Okay. But he didn't put a year. So he basically left himself open-ended. He just said October. He didn't say this October. He didn't say next October. It could be October 2030 for all we know. At any rate, I don't think so. Nathan, I don't think so. So anyway, he put up this post, but then when you go back through it, people are like, oh, that's great. They're finally getting. I like to remind people that in December of 2016, he said that the knives were done and ready to ship. So we'll do a video about it. We'll do a full video update. That's not, I don't have time. Like I only have 10 minutes left in this live feed. I don't have time. Like it turns into a rant. So I had the Brian Ty thing. So we were talking about Brian Ty, and this guy had a custom Brian Ty knife, and basically there was a screw super glued on. Like the threads had been cut off. It was just there for show. And a guy takes the knife apart. You can see there wasn't threads in. It was just super glued in. He was like, what in the, and the guys were like, what? And I was like, Brian has tendency to partake in the jazz cabbage. It does. And they're like, well, I was like, no, you don't know. Like, I'm telling you, ask Nico about me going to talk to Brian and say, hey, Brian. He's like, oh, I know you. And I was like, yeah, you do. I don't know how you keep forgetting. He's like, oh, that's right, didn't we? And I'm like, yeah, we did. And he's like, and I'm like, okay, I want to get a video. And he goes, you want to go outside and split this? I'm like, of course I do. And then I come back and I don't get any actual video because I talk to Brian with the camera up, but it's the still camera, and I wind up with like pictures of Brian Ty and a good 20-minute conversation. And I'm coming back and I'm like, man, the carpet's really squishy. There's just a perfectly good explanation for why that knife had a super glued in screw. It was there for show, and it never got put, the screw never got put in. It's literally, you can see that the screw, the head, the threads have been clipped off. So, yeah. Yeah. People are like, hey, Brian asked me to come outside with him. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. That stuff he's got will ruin your day. Like, you're just not functional for the rest of the day. You're just walking around like a freaking zombie. He's got that stuff that rappers. He's got that Snoop Dogg agriculture going on. It's. I think you may have seen that in person at Blade West. I do believe you may have seen that in person when we were hanging out that day up in Portland. My New York buddy. I just can't remember which one of them you are. Because you took your actual name off of it. It made it so much easier when it's still your actual name. It's one of the two of my New York guys that I hung out with at Blade West. Let's see here. I can't think of anything else that's really going on. Took the kid to the doctor. Got a $2,000 check in the mail that I already deposited. Yeah. I gotta hold on to this counter because I don't want to fall onto the ceiling. Yeah, that kind of thing. On a scale of 1 to yikes, yikes. It was yikes. S45VN, I have not. That's something that I want to try because the problem is knives that are in some of these steels that I want are not made by companies that I want to see a knife from. That's the problem. AUS 10, did I sharpen AUS 10? No, I did not. At any rate, AUS 10, there's only a couple companies I've seen it from. And the other one is, no, I don't skate. I've never skated. So AUS 8 or AUS 10, I have not gotten to really try. I've used a knife in AUS 10. I just can't remember what it was. But the other one is that S45VN, and I'm really not seeing too many people do anything with it. And so that's what we're talking about, right? S45VN. Yeah, the S45VN, I haven't got to see anything with it because the only knives that I've seen that are in it are from Spyderco, and I'm like, I just don't think that, like, I've got a ZDP 189 misheat treated blade that, you know, that I don't trust. They have so many issues with big batches of knives being screwed up on heat treat. And that's the other thing. And so I don't get a lot of, kitchen knives that come in. No, I never got anything that Cold Steel did in AUS 10. I wanted to, because Cold Steel always has good heat treat. Some knives that people are like, oh, I couldn't buy that knife. It's an AUS 8. And I'm like, this is some of the best AUS 8 ever. I did a video about what stones are best for you. You may want to refer to that because I'm not going to try and get into a stone discussion with only 5 minutes left in this feed because that could take all day. But I did do a video about it, and it's called What Stones Are Best for Me. If you want to track it down on my list of videos, there's well over 1,000 of them at this point. So, and that's like people come on these videos and they're like, they'll comment on a video I made like 3 years ago. Like, hey, what knife was that? I was like, in the title? And they're like, no, the other one. I'm like, I don't know. That video is 4 years old. I have no idea. And For video series, I kind of pretty much covered it in that one. The only thing I've got is the tutorial, the sharpening tutorial, and I'm gonna break some stones out because we haven't found a place yet. I am gonna break some stones out and finish the grit progression on this for the tutorial series on grit progression. Then we'll get into some crazy stuff like sharpening one of these and serrated blades and things like that. And my take on how to sharpen those things. Oh yeah, I've got a good scratch going down the length of that. So yeah, I mean, 4 years ago, drinking Mike was at the wheel. Who knows what it was then? I mean, don't get me wrong, Mike still drinks. Mike just drinks way less. To put it in perspective for you guys, I talked with Birdshot about this. He was like, "Yeah, he's like the drinking too much. Like we had to kind of like part ways." I haven't talked really to Birdshot in a while, and it was 100% the fact that I drank so much, and it came through in the videos. My daughter complained about it. My wife was complaining. People were complaining about my drink, and I just didn't see it as an issue. And I kind of went off the rails there for a while. And to put it in perspective, guys, I was drinking a 30-pack of beer just about on every day, like a 30-pack, almost a day. Like I would work and I would have a couple beers when I was working. And then like when I got done, I would just drink until I passed out and work and then start over the next day. If I wasn't drinking beer, I was drinking a bottle of whiskey. Like I would sit down and drink a bottle of whiskey every day. And here's the thing, I do have an honest to God medical condition that causes my tolerance to alcohol to be way higher than most people. It really, really does. My doctor has pointed it out. I mean, I can honestly drink an entire bottle of whiskey and not be drunk because I metabolize it so fast. It's a genetic thing. But the fact was, I was still drinking like a bottle of whiskey a day or a 30-pack of beer a day, and it was yes, I did shave with a tomahawk and a Bowie knife and my Riat and multiple things. And I'm thinking about maybe just taking this down to just a really long Van Dyke so that you guys know a beard and mustache, like a goatee with a mustache is called a Van Dyke. The beard will go before the mustache does. So how's my lidocaine tolerance? Very low, very low. Like it'll kill me. So yeah, they go hand in hand. That's what I found out from my doctor. He's like, it's not uncommon. He's like, it is an Irish thing. So I'm Italian, Irish, and German. And so that thing of the alcohol tolerance, but the complete allergic, cannot use any of the sodium pathway block. They cannot numb me. Anytime I've had stitches and things like that. It's definitely, it's something that comes from the Irish lineage that we have, which is fairly strong. I'm way more Irish than I am Italian. We have Italian on my grandmother's side, but we have German and Irish on my mother's side and my father's side of the family. So my mother's mother was German and Italian, and everybody else is German and Irish. And so there's a lot of Irish in there. And it's a metabolic thing where I can drink alcohol and I metabolize it at about twice the speed. Beer will actually get me drunker than whiskey, or faster, I should say. Not drunker. I get drunk faster on beer. So because there's proteins that the alcohol is attached to that aren't in whiskey, and so they stay in my system longer, so the alcohol winds up being in my system longer. It takes longer to break down. That's why. But yeah, I did. I had a fucking rip roaring drinking problem there for a while. And so like I might have a glass of whiskey in the evenings these days. So gluten. But I definitely don't partake of the firewater as I did in the past. So yeah, but it got pretty bad there for a while. So that was my PTSD and depression and things like that. This is party seat of beer. So any last minute question. I got to take a look. I've got another thing growing on. I'm getting old, man. It just happened just overnight. I woke up and I'm like, fuck, I'm old. No, I just, no, I already had most of that money. I've been saving that like 5, 10, 20 bucks here and there for years. As a matter of fact, had enough for a while, just didn't feel comfortable spending that in case there was an emergency. Because I did have to dip into, there was a couple times I had to dip into it. What is the Full 30? It's not an app, it's full30.com. And it's just crazy sharp. So full30.com, it's just crazy sharp. I've duplicated a bunch of stuff. There's a couple like, there's a couple of exclusive videos on there and things like that. But yeah, it's pretty much a duplication of stuff here, but there are some videos that go up there that don't go up here. So, bro, I already have that. I got shit that don't work right. I've got shit that they put back together. I don't have a collarbone on this side. They removed my collarbone on the right side so that my arm would work. You telling like things that don't work. It's not the years, baby. It's the miles. So, all right, guys, it's been an hour. I've got to get off of here. I gotta get this area cleaned up before my wife gets home. I want to get the dishes done before she comes home and has to deal with that. So, and then we've got things that we have to do. So, I love you guys. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.